Hey, good evening. This is Coach Kurt Johnson on behalf of everybody here at the E-commerce Business School. It's kind of a Sunday night live edition. Of course, you know the guy here on the screen with me, Brian Cummings. I'm going to let him introduce our esteemed guest in just a moment. But before we do that, I do want to remind everybody part of the reason, even though you're going to get some really great information tonight, part of the reason we're doing this is we are coming to the end of a window of a half price sale of 4 day of online shopping profit system. And what a great Mother's Day gift this would make. Anyway, just want to get more information out to you. And it's really been a lot of fun seeing people jump into this. So again, this is Brian Cummings, the executive director of training and coaching, and SIG, the founder. And we have been talking about the online shopping profit system this week, which has to do tonight's topic, just an incredible spreadsheet. When I saw this spreadsheet, I went like, wow. And it's even gotten even more robust, as you'll find out tonight as Brian presents the material with Santesh here with us. And also the whole training regarding all of virtual assistants and all that. And so we will be talking around. We'll be sticking around, answering your questions about anything that you learned tonight or the online shopping profit system, because there is a deadline. The 72-hour deadline that we announced last Thursday is coming to an end at midnight tonight. And not only is the price going back up to its full price, a couple live classes, bonuses are going to start tomorrow and the next day that you'll miss out on if you don't jump in here last minute, if you will, and get in on all of that. So, but having said all that, Brian Cummings does a great job in terms of leading and orchestrating all of the training here at the E-commerce Business School, and he's even made a most recent embellishment and reaching out to talented people like our guests here tonight. So, Brian, I'm just going to turn it over to you, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say, as is everybody else here on the call tonight.
Great. Thank you, Kurt. I want to give everybody just a little bit of background. Most of you know us and who we are, and you know about our online shopping profit system course. This training, it helps people source products, obtain products from online sources, online retail stores, through a process called online arbitrage, and then send them into Amazon's warehouse where they can put them up for sale on Amazon. So it's all online sourcing. It's fairly simple to do, and you can do this from any place in the world. You can do it 24 hours a day if you wish, and you can also hire people to source these products, to find these products for you. We typically call that a VA, a virtual assistant. So this business lends itself very, very well to scale. Now, the process is going online, visiting different stores and looking for discounted products, comparing those products to the price of them on Amazon. And when you see that you have a match at a profitable price, you buy it cheap and then sell it for a higher price, you record that onto a spreadsheet, then order that product and have it sent into Amazon. That process right there can be sped up through a little bit of automation. And that's why Santosh is here with us today. So Kurt, do you have that slide with Santosh on it?
Yes, let me go back to that just a second, Brian. Thank you for reminding me. Here we go. There we go.
So Santosh is the developer of Azon Tracker Pro. It's a automation tool that works on Google Sheets and well, I'm going to let Santosh describe this, but the really cool thing is that it integrates with our spreadsheet, and Santosh has made several accommodations here to make that happen. So Santosh, let's see, I'm waiting for that slide. There we go. You're the founder of Azon Tracker Pro, Google Sheet integration tool for Amazon sellers that helps all type of sellers stay more organized, save time, and scale their business. And then when you transitioned to Amazon, you focused on scaling the online arbitrage model into a six-figure business. So not only are you a developer, you're also an Amazon seller of this model yourself. Santosh, I'm going to need your help with your last name.
It's Dwarkanath.
Would you tell everybody just a little bit about yourself and how you started doing this?
Yeah, about 2 years back, I got started with Amazon. I was playing around with private label, but then when I found out the online arbitrage model, I kind of began to find that a lot more easier to do, less risk, and it's something that I could still do from working from home. And I started doing it by myself initially, and then as we began to increase our volume and sales, I started hiring virtual assistants to help me keep track of my inventory, create shipments, and do a lot of other tasks. Because in order to scale, you at some point you kind of need that help. And one of the things that was a challenge right from the day one was not only when we were trying to find products, we were also had to keep track of all the products we were buying as well as the potential leads. So I had a VA, full-time VA, whose job was just doing that. Of course, I was paying her $300 $400 a month doing that, and then eventually, but we were still having issues with errors and stuff like that. So I started looking for a solution that could help me somewhat automate that, but there wasn't anything in the market. So I started developing this tool for myself, from our own business, just to kind of be more organized and help us scale better. And that eventually became something called Amazon Tracker Pro, which became a Google integration tool to help organize our purchases as well as our potential buy list, and be able to just automate things to a degree and therefore help scale better. So that's what we've been doing now. We launched late last year, and we're just now in the market sharing, to other Amazon sellers how they can use this tool to help scale their business.
Now, you met Anne last month at a conference in Houston.
Correct.
And did she approach you? Did you approach her?
I had a booth there. That was for our first event where we actually set up a booth, and I had a presentation there. And then Anne and we were talking, and she said, "Okay, this would be a great fit for our students and people in our group, because we have a lot of students who are getting into online arbitrage business, and this is something that would integrate well. Especially you have a very nice Google spreadsheet already, a tool that helps find out if there's a profit and every other all the details to help make a decision if the seller should go ahead and buy it or not." So that's where we started talking, and then I connected with you to see how we can integrate both our software with your Google sheet and how it could all come together.
And it integrated very easily, didn't it?
Yes, it did. It did.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to give a demonstration of your tool and then how it integrates with our spreadsheet, so that when the online shopping profit system users are using the research tool that we have, the spreadsheet that we have, how they use your service, Amazon Tracker Pro, with it. Correct?
That is correct.
Awesome. Let's hand the screen over to you here, or you can just take control of it, I believe.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think I can go ahead and hit share. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. All right, just let me know if you can see my screen.
We sure do.
All right, great. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of go to this particular goal sheet, which is the goal sheet that was shared by you, where from e-commerce business school for your program. And this is a sheet right here. And if for those of you who already have this sheet, you might see there's one more tab we created, and I'm going to go and discuss that a bit in a moment. But these are all the tabs you are probably already familiar with, the product research tool. And in this tool, you can see here, once you add data, the tool actually tells you if an item is profitable and how, information as far as if you should move forward with making the purchase. So what we did with Amazon Tracker Pro is that we added another tab in here. And the reason we did that is that our extension actually is great at pushing data, but it doesn't actually do the calculations. And that's where the Google sheet that you have from the e-commerce business school will kind of play a big role. So what we did is we set up one more tab on this page where we kept the same column headers that were already there in the product research tool. And then we're gonna, and as I proceed to demonstrate this tool for you, you'll see how we're able to push data onto this particular tab. And then it's also gonna display on the product research tool. And just before we got on the call, I was showing Brian how we just did that with row number 10. And we were able to kind of check and see if this particular item was profitable or not. So just to kind of give you a little bit of go one step backwards. So the way this extension, it's a Google Chrome extension. So there's not any additional software that you're going to need to log into or anything else. You're going to just download the Google Chrome tool from the Chrome store, and inside our website, after you purchase, you'll have the link to do that. Once the extension is installed, this is just the back end of the settings. This is how it looks. The users would be able to add the Google sheet right by clicking here, add sheet. And I've already added the sheet in here from the e-commerce business school from your program. So that's already displaying right here. But that it's as simple as that. So when you connect the sheet, you'll get a prompt to say, would you like to keep the columns the same way? You would normally hit to keep it the same way. So actually I can go ahead and even demonstrate that for a quick minute. I'm just going to disconnect the tool right here. So you can see how simple it is to connect your Google Sheet. So all I'm going to do is grab the link of the Google Sheet ID, copy this, go into the extension. I'm going to maximize my page for a second. I'm going to drop the ID in here, and you'll get a prompt. Do you want to overwrite or you want to keep? Do you want to always hit keep because you already want to set up it's already pre-formatted? So in your case, since you're receiving this Google Sheet from e-commerce business school. So now once you're done there, you can see that right here it's connected. And now we'll be able to go ahead and start saving data. So I opened up one or two product pages. So I'm going to just kind of go and show you how we're going to save the information. So this is one of the items here. I've already opened it up. I'm just going to refresh the page. Since we reconnected the Google Sheet, I wanted to go ahead and refresh this page. And once the page fully loads, you'll be able to see that the Amazon Tracker Pro's interface show up on your Amazon page already. So this is where you can see Amazon Tracker Pro's interface right here. And the columns, if you notice, are the same column headers that we set up on the Google spreadsheet right here. The same, but we're actually going to set them up on the tab, on the first tab. So these are all the column headers right here are the one that you're seeing on your actual Amazon page. So right here, as you can see, the date, our title, ASIN. So normally what you would have to do if you were doing this process manually, and when we started doing this in our own business, we would have to copy each item. Either we'd grab the Amazon link from right up here, and then we would grab the cost, the number of sellers, and all that information, the review, the rating, everything else we wanted, we would normally have to grab it manually one by one. But now with Amazon Tracker Pro, all we would do is it's going to already display here. If we click on this button right here, it's going to push all the information straight to the Google spreadsheet. But before I even do that, I'm also going to show you another way that you can actually click on the extension, and it's going to open up all the other fields that you were tracking with the Google spreadsheet. So if you see the column header that we had in here, not only are the Amazon information showing up, you can also look at all the other column as well, and it's going to display on your Google spreadsheet. So if Amazon is seller, I can see in this particular product case, it's not a seller. So I can start filling up some of this information right on this page without having to go back and forth tabbing from here back to your Google sheet and forward. So FBA sellers, you can see the number of FBA sellers on here. So we have about 14 sellers perhaps, and then we can go in and see how many are prime. But for this example's sake, I'm just going to put in here FBA sellers, yes, and number of sellers, maybe it's 12 out of the 14 that are there. And once I'm done putting some of the basic information, all I'm going to do now is click and have all of this data sent directly to the Google sheet. So you're going to just see the page just turns green. And let's go back to and you see it's right here. It's got saved, this particular product. And you also see that we have set up, and this is where the integration happens, is we have set up the product research tool already to capture the information. So it's not only going directly to the first tab, it's also displaying right here. Okay.
So Santosh,
go ahead.
let me pause right here. So on line or row number 11 right there for that EBU play kit, the very bottom row that you just put all that information, that didn't have anything in it just a moment ago. You visited the product page, clicked on a couple of the tabs and entered in that little extra information like yes, Amazon, or no, Amazon is not a seller, and yes, let's see, there are 12 FBA sellers in there. And the rest of it just came automatically from the Amazon page itself. And
Correct.
You clicked the green button there.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't green at the time, but it turned green, and then it just appears on our spreadsheet, just like that.
Absolutely. It's instantaneous.
That's cool. That's really cool.
That's way cool. That's better than cool.
Hey, I want to tell the guests that are arriving, and I should have welcomed a few people ahead of time so I could see that Ann and Paul and Jackie and Deborah and Brenda, Candida, Anitra, Pauline, Diana. I know I didn't get everybody's names here, but if you are having some questions We're going to take time to answer all those questions. Go ahead and enter those questions into the comment box now, and then we'll get to all of your questions in just a little bit here. So thank you. Santosh?
Yes, awesome. So that exactly. So what happens is that you're instantaneously while you're sourcing or while you're purchasing, you're able to save data. Because what we were having a problem in our own business was that sometimes if we were to make all these purchases and have 20 different tabs, or I had a VA who would go into my email and try to capture all this information, we were still making errors in maybe capturing the wrong ASIN or the wrong, because there could be multiple listings for the same kind of product on Amazon. So we were still having those errors. So now with Azon Tracker Pro, pretty much when you either your VAs find the lead for you, or when you're making purchase, when you should make the decision that, hey, this is something that I want to buy, you're able to instantaneously save that information, because it's not so much of an effort. Because normally if you had to like spend 10 minutes to save data, you're going to always try to push it towards doing it later on. But now with this workflow, both your VAs as well as the seller can save it instantaneously. So the first step I just now showed you was just saving the Amazon part. And now I can also show you the next. Not only do we capture information from Amazon, you can also capture the information from pretty much any website, as long as most websites don't have any kind of blockers, and this works as a Google Chrome tool. So as long as you're working on a Google Chrome browser, you'll be able to save information not only from Amazon but also from the source websites. And then the third step after this, I'm going to show you is how we're going to get all the calculations to work perfectly. So now that we have opened up Barnes and Noble's page, I just want to make sure that the page fully loads, because only then can we capture some of the information correctly. I'm going to pass on this coupon here. So now I'm going to go ahead and click on the Azon Tracker Pro's extension logo here again, and you'll see it opens up. So now it's opening up on a non-Amazon page, and you can now see that everything we just now saved, and you can see that by looking at the row number 9, it's got all the information we just now saved is already showing up. So this gives you a way to check that the information that you from Amazon is matching. You can even take a look at the title, any other information, and make sure it's correct. And then once you know you have everything that you need, you can now update your supplier name. I can put, I'm just going to put BNN for short. I can click on the source link, because this way I'm able to capture if your VA is going to be the one maybe doing the sourcing or creating the buy list for you. And they every minute kind of saves time for them to be more productive. So instead of having to manually copy that, they can just click on this link right here, and it automatically grabs the URL and drops it in here. And we have a product cost of $12.95. Okay, and maybe you have a shipping cost. If you have, we don't know yet, but you can even go afterwards and update this. But from the cart button after you get to the cart, because this will work not only on just this particular page, but maybe you have 4 different items. You put them all in your cart. So you go to the page where the cart is, and again you can open up Azon Tracker Pro. You can load the specific row number that is relating to the product. You could row 8 or row 9. You can just or scroll left and right, and you'll be able to see the Amazon product information. And then maybe in this case I'm just going to put 0 here. That's gonna, because maybe there's no shipping, because I know I'm going to reach the minimum. I think they have a minimum of $35 or $40, because it's going to probably be free in this case. So when I'm done, I'm just going to click on the same button here. Sometimes some of my users call this a hamburger button, so I'm just going to call it that. But we just save it in there, and once it turns green, you'll be able to see all that information back on your spreadsheet right here. So now you can see we have our Barnes & Noble supplier name, URL, cost, and everything else now.
Awesome. So you're going to also show the dimensions as well. Yep. Next part of this.
That was the next part. So as you see here on this sheet, we have the Amazon product first, then we have the vendor information, and then we have the product size including. So this is the next step of the process. So we're going to grab this from the Amazon fulfillment calculator. And again, normally what you would have to do is go back and forth from your Google spreadsheet, type in the ASIN, and then go back and look at the cost. And it's like it might take 3 or 4 steps. But now with Azon Tracker Pro, you don't have to do that anymore. You can just click on the extension, and it's going to display all the information we just now saved on the Google Sheet right here. So we're going to click, and now you can see here we have row number 9 and all the information. So all we have to now do is just grab and we can just drag and drop the ASIN in here. So I'm just going to right-click, copy, Okay, and then I'm just going to drop it in here and hit search. So now we have the product information. So we have the dimension, the unit weight. So here there are two things you can do. You can just highlight whatever needs to be highlighted, just drag it and drop it into the box. Like if this is the length, you can drag it in there, or you can highlight it and then right click and say update cell. And this could be the width. And if this is the height, you're going to just update that as well. And there we go, the height. And then we have the weight as in pounds. And there you go, the shipping weight. So you see here, as I'm doing that, automatically it's all getting filled in here. I'm just going to scroll down a bit. So there we go. We have all the rest of the information. And now we're going to save the third part of the process. And of course, since I am explaining this as we go, it's a little longer, but when you're doing it after a couple of days, couple of minutes, you'll get a hang of it, and you'll see that it's pretty fast. So once we're done there, you'll see all the information also showing up in here as far as the length, width, and height. So that's directly gone in here. And all we have left to do is just select the category in here, which is going to be the toys, if I believe this is toys and games. And once that's done, you should be able to see if this is a profitable item, the rank, how much of a profit it is, net margin, net profit. So now I believe with the way this product research tool is set up, it'll turn green only if there's a certain profit and margin. But you can just see, as far as the process is concerned, instead of having to go back and forth, if you had 20 different data points, you might have to have gone 20 times back and forth from Amazon to your goal sheet. But in just 3 steps, you've been able to save it almost instantaneously to your goal spreadsheet.
That's marvelous. So show the Pro data, ASON Tracker Pro data. So
yeah,
people
sure.
can see that. So this is all kind of happening behind the scenes. A user doesn't even have to use this sheet if they don't want to, because it automatically is populated here and then goes on to the product research tool sheet. Is that correct?
That is correct. Because in your case, your students have this particular tool, so they're able to. But if they didn't have the tool and they're just using just ASON Tracker Pro as a thing, then they can. This would be their main sheet. But in this case, since they have this tool that's also helping them calculate the profit and other information, they don't even have to go onto this tab. They can go straight right here. All they would have to do is select the toys and games and do that. But if they make an error when they were saving something, they can always go back in here and edit it. Maybe you realize that you copied the wrong information or the wrong cost or something. You can always go back in here and edit it. It's because it's, at the end of the day, it's just a Google spreadsheet. So if you realize that you made a mistake when you're copying the cost in there, you don't have to always go back to ASON Tracker Pro to save it in here. You could just go to the appropriate column on here and edit it, and that would fix pretty much, whatever. Maybe this cost became $10, and when you do that in here, you'll see that it's going to reflect in your profits and everywhere else right here.
There's a question, and I know we're going to have questions and answers a little bit later on, but there's one I want to address right now.
Okay.
Anne had asked, she noticed the discrepancy in the line or in the row where you've just entered into row 11, and yet it said row 9 on the tracker tool.
Yeah. So the reason we have that is because on your sheet right here, you have 2 empty rows in here for your logo and this column in here. So that's why we had to set it up when we set up the integration, so that it was starting to capture data and put it in here from row number 5 onwards. But since we can't have blank data rows on this particular sheet, because this is the software works with this sheet here, we had to start from row number 1. So when we set up so that the integration works properly, we just had it set up so that row number 5 or text grab stuff from row number 3 right here. That's the reason.
So Anne, you could see the difference here. It's the bottom row there. It's 9 on this sheet and 11 on the other sheet. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
yeah, if Brian, if you down the road want to make it more simpler, we can. If we decide that we want to remove some of the logos and things like that, it'll probably be almost insane.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. You have a lot of training on this on your website for your tool.
That is correct. So, and I know a lot of people might, depending on, if they're already getting started with online arbitrage, or if they've had some experience, maybe they have not yet organized their workflow, or maybe they don't have that much familiarity with Google Sheets. So what we have done, and this is just for anybody who's signing up for ASON Tracker Pro, we have an in-depth tutorial that kind of goes step by step Maybe you have never installed an extension before. I mean, because everybody starts at, at a different level in when they get into Amazon. So we have a step-by-step tutorial that explains how to check what is the Google Chrome account that you're logged into. For example, I'm logged into right here. How to download the extension, where to find the licensee. So we have a step-by-step tutorial that, even though I have kind of demonstrated here in the video, maybe if people want to go step by step and look at each step, they can do that. We have, and some of these things might not be even relevant to your students just because you're already giving them a Google Sheet. So all they would have to do is connect it and start using it. But if someone were not to have that additional tool of your product research sheet, they would need to set up the Google columns, and that's why we have some of that information in here. We have the basics of using the extension. We didn't get into a product with variations, but if you have a product with variations, how to save that, how to load rows, because I showed you as one specific row. But if you have to maybe create a bundle, or you're doing something different where you want to add information in 2 rows, how to do that. So we have a step-by-step on all the smaller feature that we have in as well, explaining each in here, and how to use it, like briefly how to use the extension for whatever Amazon model you're doing, because each one might be slightly different, but at the end of the day, it's still a Google Sheet. So all these are just 2 or 3 minute videos. So I know it kind of looks like a lot, but sometimes we just try to keep it shorter rather than a 1 hour video. But it's, even if you watch all of them, it'll be probably less than an hour worth of time. But they're all 3 to 5 minute videos that explains how you can use, if you have any errors, how to avoid them. Like if you want to add quick notes, I think in your Google spreadsheet already you have that set up, where the users can add notes. So I'm just going to go right there to that. So if suppose right here you have notes, and if you know you're going to buy 4 or 5, you could technically add that in there. And you can even edit an existing sheet. So you would end up, let's see, if I want to edit row number 8 or 9, I could hit load and edit the information as well. Usually you might not need to often edit it on your Amazon page, but you might be on Barnes & Noble's page and you find out there's another product similar, it's a bundle. So you want to capture the 2 products of your bundle that you're going to create for online arbitrage, because sometimes you're buying stuff from Target and it's 2 different products, might make up one, maybe it's 2 different kind of food bars. So you need to kind of be able to capture the first product information and then the second product information. So we have this feature where you're able to change the row numbers. So you can kind of, without having to go back and forth to your Google Sheet, you can still be able to do some of that in here. So step by step, we have a tutorial section that explains all of that for you.
I found their tutorials to be very clear, concise. You're very step-by-step, methodical, just the way that I like it. So these were perfect to go through to learn how to use this. Santosh, you've done a wonderful job creating this tool. I know that you created it out of your own experience as an online arbitrage seller, a 6-figure seller. So you know that it works. You know what's needed for it. It's a perfect integration with our spreadsheet. I'm sure our members are going to really love it.
Thank you. So is there any question? I can stop the share and I can I'll let you continue, Brian.
Well, let's tell everybody how to get it here.
Okay.
First of all, Kurt, would you like to take the screen back here?
Okay, got it. Yep, so thank you, Santosh. I am really, really impressed. Man, putting your 2 cerebrums together is kind of scary as reflected in the spreadsheet. So thank you so much. Awesome. Well, first of all, if you are a member of the e-commerce business school, you can go to your back office and it is listed there under tools and resources. And you can click on that and learn more and sign up and have all of the integration. So it's right there. You just log into your back office and go there. Now, if you're not a member of the e-commerce business school, there's 2 ways you can become a member. Obviously, if you're going to take full advantage of Santosh's work and what we've been doing, the spreadsheet that it's interfacing with is part of Brian's course, the Online Shopping Profit System. That's the integration that we introduced to you tonight. And so if you're not familiar with the Online Shopping Profit System, we didn't want to do a whole full-blown presentation. We did that last Thursday. You can go online to joinebs.com/online and get a full-blown presentation of what that is all about. And if you have been on Facebook and you do want to do some research before you join tonight, if you haven't joined yet, then you can just look at Don Cleaver. I did an interview with him on Saturday, right in the Facebook page here, the e-commerce business schools Facebook page, and I did an interview with how it is already helping our students. And this was before Santosh's and the ASIN Pro here, embellishment of it. And Brian did an interview. A lot of what the online shopping profit system is also about is hiring a VA to do some of this work. And so Brian actually interviewed one of his VAs, and that also you'll find here on the Facebook page. And then Brian also interviewed another resource for those that want to work towards more full automation and kind of hands-off business as his is. He interviewed Kathy Rasmussen of Prep Ninjas. That's also here. And so that's just, if you've been tracking with us all weekend though, or if you are already a member, you can go to the back office, get it that way. But if you've been tracking with us this weekend, you know we have put the online shopping profit system on sale for 4 days, and it is ending at midnight tonight. And you need to go to joinebs.com/online, and you're going to get a whole lot more than just Brian's spreadsheet, but it is that spreadsheet that'll interface with Santosh's. Now, you can also, if you don't want to do that, you can get Santosh's spreadsheet without this. I just wouldn't recommend that because of the 2 + 2 = so much more than 4 here in what Brian and Santosh has put together. And there is tonight the deadline, not only for the price break, but also for a couple bonuses that Brian will be doing that are starting tomorrow. So Brian, if you wouldn't mind just telling people just a little bit about what you're going to have this bonus tomorrow is about.
Sure. So tomorrow is a live training. It's in the afternoon on how to hire, train, manage a shipping assistant. So this would be somebody that would be a local shipping assistant, either in your home or office, or possibly in their home or office. That's one way of handling this. And they'll receive all of these products that you're ordering online, and then prep them, package them up for Amazon FBA. So I'll show you how to look for a good employee, how to train that employee, manage them. Very short, concise live training on that tomorrow afternoon.
All right, and then another bonus that's going to be then on Tuesday, Brian, will be, let me get to that slide, is going to be a 3-part series, because part of the training that you offer in the online shopping profit system is just the beautiful program that you have to help hire a VA. And you're going to coach our members through that process starting Tuesday. And so
that's right.
Okay.
So hiring a VA for the first time can be kind of daunting, a little scary. You know, how do I find the right person? How do I interview them? Gee, they're somebody from another country. And what about all this technology? It can be a little daunting. So we have all that training for you in the online shopping profit system, but sometimes it's nice to have a little hand holding. And wouldn't it be nice to know that at the end of 3 weeks, you're going to found and hired and trained and worked with a VA at the end of 3 weeks. So that's the purpose of this 3-week series beginning on Tuesday. You have the training on how to do it. I'm going to walk you through that process, hold your hands, give you an assignment of going online, setting up your account with the VA hiring service, and finding a VA, finding several VAs, interviewing them, giving them test assignments, and going all through that step of hiring the very best VA for your business and get them started working for you, all within 3 weeks. So this way, if you've been one of those kind of people that think, okay, I'm going to get to this, well, this way it's going to get done. And that's what I like about this 3-week coaching series.
Awesome. Great value there. So again, sign up before midnight tonight, and you'll not only access the course, but you'll also access those bonuses that are happening tomorrow and the next day. And so how do you do that? You want to go to joinebs.com/online, and then you'll be able to access the course. You'll be able to find Santosh's add-on with ASIN Pro. I'm sorry I didn't get that name down right, but it's in our
Tracker Pro.
Thank you, ASIN Tracker Pro. Thank you. And that'll be in the back office. If you, for whatever reason, I don't suggest this, but if you want to join EBS free, you can also do that. You can just go to joinebs.com. You have our free membership, and you'll see all of that what we have to offer, including that resource in the back office. And so today, right now, for a few more hours, the regular price is, and it will be going back to this price tomorrow, is $497. It's slashed 50%. For $248.50. It includes a lot more than what we covered tonight. So if you still need to do research to say, is this the right for me? You can go to joinebs.com/online, and there is a full presentation that Ann and Brian did regarding all of that. Now, if you have any questions about purchasing, moving forward with EBS or with the online shopping profit system, I'm here to answer those. You can ask them in the box. And quickly, I'm going to bring it back to you, Brian, in just a moment, so you and Santosh can our current members are just really excited and they have some questions there I'm sure you want to address. But if you are not part of the online shopping profit system yet and you have questions, I'm here to help with that. You could also send me a text message at 815-980-7386, because I know we're coming down to the wire now. And many people are on many different devices. We want to be able to answer your questions and get you the link that you need to move forward in whatever you do. So, Brian, I'm going to toss it back to you now if you want to answer any of the questions there on Facebook that people have, because I can see our current members are really excited about what's going on here.
Okay. So let's go back through some of the questions. I'm kind of rolling back up on the screen. I'm looking over at my other monitor on the right, and I see Pauline is saying, what is the name of this program again? Azon Tracker Pro. And you can go, if you strictly just want the Azon Tracker Pro, please go to joinebs.com, joinebs.com/AZON. And that'll take you right there to Azon Tracker Pro. And Santosh, would you like to talk about the price of Azon Tracker Pro?
Yeah, sure. Right now, the price is it's a very economical, because this we recently launched. Is $10 a month, or we also have an annual program which is $99 a year. It's $9.99 a month, or $10, $100 a year. So, and plus, you also will be, if you're joining with EBS, and you also get the Google Spreadsheet that is available for doing all your calculations as well. So that's the current price, and we have a free trial as well. So we have some demos on the website. So if you want to take a look at some of the other demos we have, you're more than welcome to do that. There is a free trial as well. The link that Kurt provided will take you to the free trial page as well. So you can go ahead and do that and get started.
So just to be clear here, if you are interested in the spreadsheet that we showed you that has the profit calculations that come with the online shopping profit system, you're going to need to purchase the online shopping profit system, or at least be a member of the online shopping profit system. And then when you purchase Azon Tracker Pro, you'll get the integrated spreadsheet that connects the two. So you have to have both to get that spreadsheet that connects the two. Okay?
Yeah, if you're only going to get Azon Tracker Pro, you would have to set up your own spreadsheet. We have some basic demos to show you how to do that, but we don't set up anything that shows you how to do the calculations. It is just for capturing data, not for calculating your profit or ROI or any of the other things that the profit research tool from EBS kind of has.
I see that Anne is saying, wow, this will cut a lot of time out of entering data. You better believe it. Let's see, Jamie just joined today. Congratulations, Jamie. And let's see, if we signed up for online arbitrage a few months ago, can we still get this extension? And Wendy, yes, I was just addressing that. So if you're already an online shopping profit system member and you purchase Azon Tracker Pro, then you'll get the integrated spreadsheet that connects the two. Let's see, Paul is saying, I'm just listening in. I just signed up today and need to go through the course so I can understand where to get started. Thanks for having me. Or that's Paul or Tammy, I'm not sure, but welcome. Glad you're here. I addressed that question of Anne's. There's a lot of comments in here. So Anne is saying, can you go to a website? This will be one for you, Santosh. Can you go to a website and enter multiple entries from that website, and then go to Amazon and fill in the data on each of those items so you aren't going back and forth for each product you're looking at?
I would need to backtrack with the question. I didn't really follow it.
let me rephrase it here.
Okay.
So what I think Anne is saying is that she's going to Sears.com or any of those retail websites, and she's probably looking through the clearance section, and she sees a number of products that might be likely candidates as a profitable product that you could sell on Amazon. So in this way, could you go through and enter in those different clearance products that are on one website, and then go to Amazon once you've entered all those in, and go to each of those sites one at a time. So you're not jumping back and forth between Sears and Amazon, Sears and Amazon.
Yeah, we do have a feature that you could do that. We don't have any tutorials exactly to show you how to do that in our website because that's a little bit advanced, because usually people go from Amazon to the page. But yes, we do have, it's a tool that can help you push. So you would technically load an empty row on the Google Sheet that doesn't have any information and capture from Sears first, and then save it, and then you would have your Google Sheet might have 10 rows of only Sears information, and then you would again load, as you go to the Amazon product page, you would find it, and then you load the row number specific to that product. So it is doable. Yes, you can do it.
Wendy is asking, do we need to update our current spreadsheet? Yes, this will be a special spreadsheet for those that are using both Online Shopping Profit System and Amazon Tracker Pro.
And to answer one more question, ideally, if you're doing that, you might want to have a separate spreadsheet that is just for like a research spreadsheet and not the main one that you're using with your product research tool. So you might want to have just a fewer, lesser number of columns, because you really only are trying to capture the Amazon product basic information and your Sears or your JCPenney information. So you would want to, and with Amazon Tracker Pro, you can add more than one Google Sheet on the back end of the extension and choose which one you want the data to go to. So if you're in the process of just doing basic research, you might want to maybe copy the same column headers and put them in a new spreadsheet and just call it maybe product research or something else, or and then save data in there. And then when you're finally ready to start making your purchases, you would go back to the back end of the extension, select the correct goal spreadsheet, and then do your purchases.
Anne is asking, if someone isn't very familiar with the Google Docs, is there something on the e-commerce webpage that can train us on it, or will the Amazon Pro training be most helpful? I've worked a lot in Excel, but Google Docs is different for me. So Anne, yes, there is a training or a link to a training that we found extremely helpful that's already on YouTube that gives you a basic introduction on Google Docs and Google Spreadsheets. Then in Amazon Tracker Pro, there's how to get that set up for you. Santosh, you could speak to that.
Yeah, if you're already using a spreadsheet, you could of course import it into a Google spreadsheet doc. It's a very simple process, and then you would be able to connect that to Amazon Tracker Pro. But if you've never used it before, if you've never done any spreadsheets, you have no idea. We don't teach you the basics of setting up, just starting to use a spreadsheet. Ideally, you can look at the training inside EBS and learn the first step of creating a spreadsheet and then connecting it to Amazon Tracker Pro.
So let's see here. There's a couple of specific questions about other trainings or other aspects. Let's see.
Brian, I'm looking at the questions too. If any of our members, current members, have any specific questions about the bonuses and about the training and all that, just go ahead and go into our customer service in our back office to do that. And I will give one plug for Online Shopping Profit System. Rather than try to build your own spreadsheet, just the cost of Online Shopping Profit System. If all you got was Brian's spreadsheet, I'm really telling you, it's just incredible, let alone all the VA trading and everything else that goes with it. It's just phenomenal. So yeah, I've used spreadsheets for years and I love them. And this thing is just an amazing creation in my mind. So don't try to create your own.
If you knew how much time it took to create those profit calculations, there was a considerable amount of time spent in developing that.
And so again,
Yes,
I'm just showing the back office again. Current members, online shopping profit system. I would encourage you to get this great service. Azon Tracker Pro is under your resources in the back office. You can get to it via that direct link, joinebs.com/Azon, AZON. If you're not a member, we'll probably ask you to sign up to be a membership then, and there's a free membership that you can join and sign up that way. Our current members, the bonuses do start tomorrow. Notify customer service if you have any questions about that. And again, the deadline is ending tonight. So sorry to interrupt you, Brian. Go ahead.
Mina is saying, having spent time with the spreadsheet, this sounds like a great time saver, and I definitely agree with that. And she's also asking if she and Dan need, if they each need a subscription to it. So they're a husband and wife team. Do they both have to have a subscription? And why don't you talk about what you would do if you hired a VA? Would you have to have one and your VA have one?
The way the extension is, it's one license per Google account. So if you and Dan share the same email, or you could create a common email, you'll be fine. If you have, in fact, for me, we have a team of 5 VAs, and we have one common email for just my Amazon business, and you could be fine. But if you're trying to use them with more than one Google account, then you would probably need additional license. At this point, you could use up to 3 accounts besides your main one without any problem. So in general, I do recommend, because you're working at Google Sheets and the extension can only save to one Google Sheet at a time, rather than mess around with, if you have 5 VAs and each one of them having their own accounts and all, I would recommend having one common account for all your business reasons, and have your VAs have access to that. But in general, for in your particular case, if it's just you and your husband, I'm sure you're okay with sharing your email with him, so you don't need more than one license.
And if in the future they hire a VA and want to create a unique email account and move it over, that's not a problem at all.
That's not a problem either. So that's what we give accommodation for that as well.
Mm-hmm. I noticed there was information, you had training on that, very simple training on how to accomplish that.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see here. Anne is asking if there's a discount. She saw that there's a discount code for Azon Tracker Pro. Is that for the yearly price?
Yes, there is a discount. I mean, right now it's a discounted price at the moment since we recently launched. So it's $99 per year is a discounted price. And we will also have, for members who join up, we'll have a separate discount for that I can share with Brian, that could be put available on the website as well. That'll be available only to EBS team.
I think that's all the questions. If you guys have any other questions, please enter them now. Santosh, thank you so much for being here, spending your Sunday evening with us, demonstrating your tool. It's a really cool tool. It's going to be fun to watch our community members start to use it. And then the remarks that we're going to get back from them, like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier. You have anything else that you'd like to add or share?
That's it for right now. I'm sure we have, we can always come back in a few days if you'd like, in order for me to do an additional question and answer for your community. If after people have tried it, if they have some questions, they can, always reach out. We have a support desk also, emails that they could email, either us or on the website. We have a support link. So if any issues, we're happy to get on, chat with them, online chat, and help resolve anything. So we'll be available for any question. Then I can come back in a few days, or whenever time permits, with Brian and his team to do an additional demonstration or go in detail into any more tips for using the tool.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Coach Kurt?
All right. Hey, thank you guys. This has been fantastic. Time savers and all your teaching on the online shopping profit system. Brian is interfacing with the VA, and just really good efficiency and effectiveness. So guys, jump on board. It ends midnight tonight. To jump in, you can start from ground zero and just dive into all of this. If you already remember, go ahead and take the next step to continue to enhance and automate your business. And as we've indicated here, we are here to support you every step of the way. So on behalf of Ann and Brian and Santesh, make it a great rest of the day. I hope you join us for this journey. Bonuses start tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.